immigration lawyer. In today's live, we will be discussing how some democratic cities and states are going to be pushing back against Trump's immigration policies. We're also going to discuss again and again who may be targeted for his mass deportations plans announced, how you can protect yourself, do whatever possible to avoid this disaster. And of course, I'll be answering your guys' questions. So thank you very much for joining. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you can hear me, first of all, very important. And don't forget to type up your questions so that in the end, I will be able to go back to them and answer them. And if you are watching me on TikTok, don't forget to send your hearts. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can like, share the stream. If you're watching me on Facebook, just say hello and let me know what's happening. Hi, Mohammed. Hi, Shigal. Let me know if you can hear me. Just type quick yes. I think people on TikTok always can hear me. Hi, guys. Thank you very much for your hearts. Yes, we're going to be discussing how cities and states are preparing to fight Trump's immigration policies, what they are doing in preparation after he announced and confirmed his mass deportations plans. For example, I had a video about that he stated he is, thank you very much, Shigal, he stated that he's going to be using military to deport people, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about this, if it's going to work or not. And basically, you need to know that it's not so hopeless, everyone. But again, let me just tell you what's happening, and then you decide, how to proceed. All right, so as you're aware, for the last couple of days, everybody's been discussing Trump's announcements as to how he's going to be fighting illegals and how he's going to be deporting people out of the United States. According to one of the reports that was published in various news outlets several times, he's going to utilize military, including National Guard, to move the people, drive the people out of the United States. Well, it sounds simple. It's not so simple in real life because, first of all, only ICE is allowed to touch people or police this way in terms of immigration. I guess there will be some executive orders authorizing the military to forcefully basically grab people and place them somewhere else, right? Forcefully move them from place A to place B. That's number one executive order that must be passed for this plan to work, I guess. Second, these military people should have some basic training in how to handle detainees, people who they detain. When ICE officers do have that, and they have ideas about persons' due process rights and constitutional rights, I cannot imagine that every military person will have the same training. And it presents a huge, tremendous issue. I can just see the amount of lawsuits that's going to be filed after this move, if it's ever going to happen, right? Then, of course, we need to know who we're grabbing. Are we going to grab everybody who looks foreign? I mean, I look probably foreign, I don't know, right? Or we're going to be grabbing specific people. If we're grabbing specific people, then we should have some sort of a list, information, addresses, where to go, where to find those people, and how we're going to go about if they resist the detention and arrest, right? And who's going to be helping them. And now this is where this democratic cities and states coming in. A number of municipalities announced that they will not allow any cooperation with federal authorized enforcement against immigrants. For example, LA is preparing to pass a resolution that they will announce themselves, declare themselves to be a sanctuary city. Okay, LA, Los Angeles. New York State has a number of laws to pass against cooperation, for immigrant rights, including free immigration lawyers. Well, it's not going to be free immigration lawyers, but it's going to be like a legal aid paid by the government, but persons who cannot afford may be able to use those lawyers. Again, it's just the plans. It's not any specific laws that passed yet, but the plans. And of course, California is announcing already that they're drafting briefs on legal issues to sue Trump as soon as he will start making moves on his promises. So some work is already going on, because the problem that I see is this. Let's say Trump is authorizing military, declaring national emergency, and is authorizing military to carry out this operation. Then we need to have a court's order to stop him. And for this to happen, the lawsuit must be filed right away. And TRO, what's called TRO, temporary restraining order, has to be filed right away, stopping the operation. So what I think may happen is some people, unfortunately, may suffer within this short period of time between authorization and the stopping of the order. All right. So I think that's a possibility, how some people may really suffer. Or maybe better possibility is that he actually not going to carry out this specific plan and will think 300 times before he's going to do something, opening the government for this tremendous amount of lawsuits. But again, I do not know. We do not know. We can only prepare. We only know that who approximately is going to be targeted, who are going to be an easier target, right? People with standing removal orders, where you didn't file for administrative stay removal, you didn't file for motion to reopen, no appeal, where you didn't file basically for anything, you don't have U visa or T visa pending, nothing is pending, and you're clearly deportable and you don't have any defenses. So those are the first group of people. People who did not show up for their order of supervision appointments, guys. Please don't forget, if you have that order of supervision, it's like signing a contract. You're allowed to stay in the United States, but you have to come in for that appointment. You will be an easy target. Why? Because officer can review your history of showing up and not showing up. You're not there. They have your address on file. Guess what? You're an easy target. You have to understand that. There is an application, administrative stay or removal, that you can file. If it's granted, your physical deportation out of the United States is paused. Usually you have to demonstrate that either somebody is going to suffer extreme hardship and you need that person that person needs you in the United States, or it's you, perhaps you have health issues and you need life-saving treatment in the United States, or you have to show that you're somehow working on fixing your immigration status. These are the basic, very basic criteria. Interestingly, for administrative stay or removal to be granted, you have to have valid passport. But if you don't have valid passport, the government cannot physically deport you usually. Why? Because the country that has to accept you has to confirm they will be accepting you. How do they do that? They verify that you are a citizen of that country. And that's why ICE wants a valid passport to show to that government that you are their citizen. So it's like a circle, never-ending circle of issues. And again, I do not know how exactly it's going to be carried out, because practically speaking, without completely ruining constitutional tower of rights and due process, it will be very difficult to impossible to accomplish. It's easier said than done. All right. So of course, those of you who have criminal convictions and convictions qualify as an aggravated felony, easy target. Why? Because practically speaking, you have very limited reliefs that can be filed. Also, if you are subject to aggravated felony, there is a speeding, expedited, it's called administrative removal proceedings. It's like a very interesting thing where government sends you notice. If you don't reply to it very quickly, they basically have an order of removal against you. But it's used very rarely and only against people who do have this heavy criminal record. But if you're just somebody who is hanging out here, you overstayed your visa, usually you will have to have opportunity. They'll have to give you an opportunity to defend yourself in court and give you your due process rights. All right, that's how it works. So practically, it's going to be unpleasant. I don't think it's going to be as quick as they promise. I don't think it's possible. But at the same time, please don't sit and wait. If you do have something to file for, file it now. Keep saying it, still meet people who do have something to file for, and you guys don't file. It's a mystery, all right? So just understand you have to be prepared, not scared, but you have to be prepared. Now I see we have tons of questions, and I'm going to be trying to answer all of them. If I don't answer, please don't hate me, okay? I'm a good person, I promise you. I'm just working sometimes too hard and get tired. And then please comment or join our next live, and I will try to help you out. Send me your hearts for the fuel, because I've been working all day, but I know it's Tuesday night and we need to have this live, and here I am, all right? So let's start questions and answers. I know you're here for that. Hi, Danila. I have a removal of condition for already 18 months. I know I'm eligible to apply for citizenship under 3 years. Do you recommend apply before new administration? 100% I do. Do not hesitate. Do not hesitate. File right away, okay? Hi, Alim from Pakistan, Bangladesh. Yay! Indonesia, right. Hi, Wasu. I had got my K1 visa approved, but when check my status visa, it says application received. If you have your visa sticker in your passport, then you don't need to worry about it, all right? You got your visa received and you can use it. I don't think that you need to worry about whatever annotation in the system you have, okay? That's if I understood your question correctly, all right? All right, hi. Seduce, how apply minimum investment like $20,000 or $30,000 for a visa? Unfortunately, $20,000 or $30,000 is not going to be sufficient, guys, to get any type of investment visa in the United States. Any experienced lawyer is going to tell you that for e-visa, if you qualify for it, non-immigrant visa, you usually have to have minimum 80,000, and you're going to be pushing it. Usually it's 100,000 that you have to have, okay? Now, let me see tons of questions on TikTok. Hi, guys. How you all doing? Please don't forget to share the stream. Hi, Meme. According to you, visa, someone not injured on the robbery still apply for that? What happened to you? Is attempted robbery? You can still apply if the government signs you visa certification and you can demonstrate that harm was inflicted upon you. The harm does not have to be physical, okay? If you got very scared, if you're suffering now from PTSD, you have to go to hospital, you cannot sleep, you are, you're losing hair and so on and so forth. So you have some physical manifestation, especially if you have physical manifestation of your emotional distress, you definitely can apply and you have a good chance. It depends on what happened, Imagine it's an armed robbery. Yes, they didn't have time to shoot you, but they did threaten you and you got very scared. Some people, listen, some people really get hurt by this, by the fear. So you may, depends on the facts of the case, okay? Let me see. All right. Guys, I'm not an expert on the tax law. I will not be explaining that. We are discussing immigration questions. We're discussing questions related to deportation and things like that. That's what we're here for. Will work permit be given during Trump administration? I think so. The USCIS issues to you guys work permits based on the law, on different provisions, allowing you to get a work permit usually while your application is pending. To change that, Trump and his people will have to change the law. Technically, it's possible, but will they really put so much resources into depriving you of only benefit of work permit? I honestly don't think that, because it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All right? Just doesn't make any sense. All right, guys, if you want to contact me, you will have to book an appointment if you're not my client, okay? Texting or emailing is not gonna get you in touch with me. You'll have to go through my secretaries and my website to book an appointment, because I do have full days already, full weeks booked in advance. You know, maybe they can squeeze you in here and there, but unfortunately, I just don't have, unfortunately, have capacity to, in addition to this time I spent here, to text everybody and email personally if you don't have an appointment, if you're not my client. If you're my client, it's a different story. I owe an obligation to you to respond, and I'm happy to respond. Listen, I like talking to my clients. Hi, James. My friend is Ukrainian under TPS. She got it 2 times. Do you think she have a chance for a green card? TPS by itself does not lead to a green card, but it's a good start. It's a good protection from deportation. And if she travels on TPS travel document, when she comes back, she becomes in legal status. Now she can adjust status if she wins a DV lottery, or, for example, if an employer sponsors her. So it's a good status to have, but by itself, it does not lead to a green card, okay? Guys, send some hearts if you guys are on TikTok. Hi, Sheikh, if you don't mind, can you explain E2 visa, please? Thank you guys for your hearts. E2 visa is a non-immigrant investment visa. I do have a couple of blogs on my website, shoutsova.com, that gives you a very good idea as to what requirements have to be met for it to be granted. In a nutshell, it's not for everyone. It's only for people from designated countries that have special treaties with the United States, okay? Number 1. Number 2, you have to have a business plan. You have to show that, thank you very much, guys, for the roses. You have to show that you are going to do something in the United States, something beneficial, that your business enterprise is a real enterprise, and you have to also show that the source of your money is a legal source. Very, very important, okay? Hi, I'm Nitika. Can I renew my passport from my home country if my asylum was granted? I would not recommend you to do that, because when your asylum is granted, you're considered to be a person without citizenship, all right? You should be using refugee travel document instead, all right? So please remember that. Is there a right time to apply for EB2? How much time will it take for the whole process? It depends on what country you're from. For some countries, it's like 20 years, okay? But for the rest of the world, not India, or I believe Mexico maybe also in this category, it's about 2.5 years. That's how long it's going to take, all right? According to, yes, we answered that. Hi, Drizzle. When do I tell USCIS about my newborn baby, which happened after my divorce? What are you filing for? When you're filing for something, that's when you tell them, all right, about your baby. Also, was it the baby from the spouse based on marriage with whom you were trying to get the status? Then the baby helps you to prove that you did have a real marriage, right? So depends on the process. If you filed something already, you have to wait for the RFE, request for more evidence, usually. They usually do not accept unsolicited mail unless you're a VAWA person. By the way, guys, those of you who are waiting for your VAWA to be decided, or that you filed or you're going to file for VAWA, USCIS just confirmed that they will be calling people for interviews in connection with VAWA cases if you filed a VAWA petition and I-45 together. Honestly, it's nothing new. They've been doing it before, prior to this announcement. But they said that they're going to start doing it, I guess, on a mass basis. I don't know. But if you file stand-alone VAWA, you will not be called for the interview. Okay? That's what they're saying. All right. Thank you guys for the hearts. Look how many hearts I got. That's so awesome. Thank you, guys. Hi, Westy. Can a naturalized citizen be deported for a misdemeanor offense? No. Once you are a US citizen, you cannot be deported. But what can happen if the government files for denaturalization proceedings against you and you lose status, then you're deportable. How and when can it happen? I do have a video about that. Now, just because you committed a misdemeanor or even a felony, the government cannot start these denaturalization proceedings. After all, that's why you file for citizenship, to protect yourself. It's not like you're thinking, oh, I'm going to commit that felony 5 years from now. Why don't I get citizenship? Of course not. But things happen. Sometimes you get accused unjustifiably. And if you are, unfortunately, and maybe even you lose, unfortunately, if you're a citizen, you will not be deported based on that. But you can lose your citizenship if, number one, you received it illegally. What do they mean by that? Well, there are some rare cases when people literally paid up somebody and got the certificate of being born in the United States and things like that. All right. Most often, it means, however, that you failed to disclose some very important information relevant to your eligibility for citizenship during your naturalization process, okay? The marriage was not real and you lied it was real. There was no job offer and you said that there was, things like that. So you received your green card, you received your citizenship illegally. Number two, you received your citizenship through military service, but then you were discharged other than on honorable grounds. So you can lose the citizenship. It's like a gift they can take back. Well, if you committed treason, then you can, everybody knows what treason is, right? You're affiliated yourself with some people who present danger to the United States. And maybe you spied for somebody. Okay, so that's another ground. You misrepresented yourself completely. Well, it's kind of like falls under the first criteria when some people use multiple identities for immigration process and they receive green card illegally and then it carries on into the citizenship process. Everything is illegal. So that's when the naturalization process can be successful. All right. I would tell you how it starts, but I don't want to scare you and everything. You've been scared enough. All right. Let me see what other questions we have. Can I renew my passport? Nope, you can't. I discussed that. How long time does U visa take? Forever. It takes 7, I think 10 years, something like that right now. I don't even have any estimates because it just takes forever. I would say probably 10 years. If we're going to go by their numbers, it's going to take like 47 years. If we take statistics as to start, how many cases they approve per year and how many cases are filed. But it doesn't really work like that. It works faster, okay? What about who have BIA appeal pending? You should be fine if you have BIA appeal pending. Then you don't have a final decision yet. All right, you should be all right. All right, so let me see. We have some questions from YouTubers. Hi, Alex. When should I file for green card after granted asylum? 6 months from the time you were granted asylum. Trump to change asylum requirements, making it much more restrictive and very hard to get. He may, but asylum law is based on international law. The definition of the refugee is defined by the international law. That cannot be changed by Trump. But what he can do, just like he did the last time, rather his people, they interfered into the ways we process asylum cases and targeted one of the most popular grounds for asylum and one of the most vulnerable grounds, membership in a particular social group. It shaped the qualifications for this ground are shaped by judges and regulations. That's why it's an easy target, okay? Because nobody really understands. They're trying to figure out what is a group. Is one person a group? Is a family a group? Community is a group? So after some time, courts came up with this criteria, how they're going to determine what is a group and what is not. What is visible in a community, they say you have to pass visibility tests, and what is not. So that is very much a likely area of his attack. Another attack can be done on qualifications in connection with asylum that even Biden, I believe, wanted to do. It's a transit bar, and that one may work. Transit bar is when they say, oh, you're in the United States, that's lovely, but we see that you traveled through some democratic countries of Mexico, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Why is that you didn't ask for asylum there? Okay, and that's how they disqualify you. Or they may say, look at your passport and say, oh, we see you've been to Germany, France, and Italy just not so long time ago. Why didn't you ask for asylum there? All right, so that's possible. Actually, I'm not going to be sharing any ideas anymore, but who knows who's listening, right? But that's what probably they will attack. All right, that's what they will attack. No. Let's see what else. Don't ask me these questions because then I'll have to answer them. God knows who's listening. I'm joking. Trust me. They have very vicious attorneys working on their side. Hi, Sudus. Now in the Bronx, my two daughters are in school going and below 18. My youngest daughter is sick and under treatment. Calling Sound Catering Hospital. All right. If you have a family member, guys, you don't have status, but you have a family member who needs life-saving treatment in the United States, you can ask for deferred action. We actually did it and we were successful. You have to file it with USCIS, but you have to demonstrate that you are paying for this treatment, not the government. It's very important, right? Otherwise, it's not going to be granted. All right. Let me see. Hi, Vincent. Let me see. Hi, my name is Vincent. In the United States, married for over 15 years to an American spouse. I got my social and my working permit, and it's been expired. And we're not together nearly 6 years ago. I have applied for my green card, but until now, no response. If you file for your green card based on that marriage, it's no longer viable. You may be denied adjustment of status, even though there is a case law saying that if at the time of the application you had a viable marriage, you shouldn't be denied adjustment of status. But very often what happens, if you do have a separation, divorce, the spouse who petitioned for you withdraws their I-130 petition. And if it happens, then there is nothing much you can do. Just keep that in mind. If there is no response for 6 years, I do not know the history of your case. I'm not sure what would be the best course of action. Sometimes it is good to push the government. Sometimes it's not, depending on all the variables, all right? You can consult with an attorney, ask your lawyer. I think you should have had a lawyer to go through the process. If you're not satisfied with the answer, you always can ask for second opinion. All right, that's how it's done. All right, let me see. Oh my God, I'm so behind with questions from TikTokers. I'm so sorry, guys. Hi, do you do EB3 visas? Yes, we do. Hi, To, please. How long does it take to get BIA decision after submitting the brief about asylum denied? It varies. Sometimes it's very fast. I would say the whole process is going to take only 6 to 8 months. All right, recently, like during the COVID, it can take 2 years and plus. How long does it take to get approved travel documents? I applied January 8th, 2024 through TPS. It's a very long time that you're waiting. You should ask to expedite the decision. Whatever reason you have to travel, why you requested it to begin with, ask them to expedite. We just been successful. Somebody needed to travel for work, and we didn't even file that long time ago. We filed in September or October. But they did expedite our request, no, August, I think, end of August. And they did expedite, they sent us a travel document on November 1st, I think. So travel documents based on TPS shouldn't be that difficult to receive, okay? Just know that it's not asylum pending. It's totally different animal. Asylum pending travel document, they do not want to give them out. That's 245I for give unauthorized work. Yes. But now LPR card received written residence since October 2023. What is your question? What is the risk of a student visa denial to wife if the husband is a US lawful permanent resident? I think she will have hard time convincing the consul that she does not have immigrant intent since you are a lawful permanent resident. Sometimes the officers just probably look some other way, right? They don't care. They look some other way. And they do issue those visas. Sometimes they would not. Guys, you need to know that tourist visas, it's really 50-50, okay? It's like, we do not know what's going to happen. What does 50-50 means? We do not know what's going to happen. And if you are a lawful permanent resident, I think the chances are even lower than 50-50 because she already has a factor against her if they want to use it. I'm in proceedings removal. Can I still apply for work authorization? Sure, if you have something pending that allows you to do that, like asylum, for example. Hi, attorney. Had asylum interview in 2021 and again in 2022. In December 2022, approval was done. All right, so if your asylum case is approved, it's a great news. You should have filed for your green card already, right? You should have filed for your green card. All right. Hi, YH. My father needs to stay in his native country for 6 to 8 months. Do you think green card is in danger after Trump takes over? Your father has to file for reentry permit prior to leaving, okay? And then he will have no issues staying out of the United States from 6 to 8 months. That's what needs to be done. All right. File down 31 reentry permit, provided his fingerprints and left the United States. I see that it's been done. Your father should be fine. He did the right thing. What you're going to do, you're going to mail him the travel document and everything will be fantastic. If you guys have more questions, please ask them. We have a last chance, all right? Can you call USCIS for a case status? Yeah, you can try. I mean, it's going to take you 2 to 3 hours to get somebody there, but you absolutely can try. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to get any useful information. Sometimes you do get some information, like we sent a RFE, you didn't reply, or there is a denial, you never received it, and then you have to either ask them to mail you the document again, or most commonly, submit for FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request, to get the copies of the documents they say they sent, but you never received, all right? Hi, Miss E. How long I-130 will take? Probably. I filed in September 2023. That should be granted, unless it's for some preference category where the government knows it's not going to be used for some time. Guys on TikTok, don't forget to send hearts. Hi, I can pending asylum person participate in DV lottery. Yes, you can participate absolutely. What you're gonna do when you're going to win, you're going to go to a lawyer, see what the law is in the state where you're at. Most likely you have to leave the United States to be able to collect on that card, all right? That's how it's done. Thank you guys for the hearts. I wish I could eat them. They're probably as sweet as your hearts, right? As your smiles. Everybody's smiling today, right? We're not going to be afraid. We're going to be prepared, right? Send hearts and likes if you agree. We're not going to be afraid. We're going to be prepared. Hi, Fernando. Are visa overstays at risk? Yes, they are, of course, but those are the people that typically it's much harder to locate, right? The government has to have a record as to where you live and where you work. But if you don't have legal status, green card or citizenship that you obtained legally, I would say that you are at risk. If you those who have valid visas, you're fine. TPS, you're fine. Thank you, Akko, for the rose. You're fine, okay? If you have something pending, usually you should be fine, okay? U visa pending, asylum pending, T visa pending, you should be okay. Unless something changes in the law, all right? So the way the law works now, usually you should be fine. I do have to share with you that during the first time Trump was in office, his people stated that the judges should not be agreeing to administrative closure or dismissal, and generally speaking, should not be giving any adjournments, meaning they would not wait for you to go through the process of the U visa and so on and so forth. But that was reversed later by Biden administration. Will they try to bring this back? I mean, probably, but they will be too busy with other things and lawsuits. So I don't think it's gonna work. All right, I don't think it's gonna work. Hi, Kushal. I have a master hearing soon. My old lawyer doesn't reply me. Should I appear WebEx hearing alone? Whatever the mode of the hearing that your judge chose, but why don't you change a lawyer and get yourself somebody who does reply? Can you imagine you're going to be preparing for individual hearing with somebody who doesn't reply? I mean, that's tough. That's tough, all right? Hi, Shigal. Filed my VAWA case 5 days ago, and am I safe? How long will it take to get something? All right, so you're better off than many people because you filed something, right? Especially humanitarian reliefs like VAWA are very important. And usually government doesn't touch people who have humanitarian reliefs like VAWA pending, U visa pending, things like that. Now, how long is it going to take? Well, first you're going to receive a receipt. It usually comes within the months of filing. And then I would say you're going to get prima facie determination within the next 6 months after filing, probably sooner. So you should be okay, all right? You should be okay. All right, let me answer some last questions, guys, and I'm going to retire for the night, all right? I have to rest tomorrow. There is another day full of appointments, and I have to rest. Would a false claim of US citizenship on I-9 as a minor render you inadmissible if you were eligible to work? False claim of citizenship is a complete bar, and you are inadmissible and deportable unless you are a siege person. Okay, you are a siege person. If you are eligible to work, why did you say that you were a citizen? There are very few exceptions to the rule. You really did believe you were a citizen because both of your parents became citizens prior to your 18th birthday. I don't know how it works, but the exception says something like that. Then there is an exception saying timely retraction of misrepresentation may save you. Timely retraction. I'm not aware of anything else. if you were eligible to work, but you filed. And you can make an argument like some people made when they filed for driver's licenses and they stated that they were citizens, but they did not have to be a citizen to receive the driver's license, and it worked for them in some cases, but in some cases it didn't. The judges didn't buy these arguments. So if it comes down to it, hire yourself a good lawyer and try to push for the ruling that you want, and try to explain your actions as to why you did it, how old you were. You said you were a minor. Were you signing your own documents? How old you were? For immigration purposes, you can sign your own documents once you turn 14 years old. To be charged with fraud or misrepresentation, usually you have to reach the age of 16, but it's really on case-by-case basis. So I think it's a fact-specific. My gut feeling would say it's a problem, right? But then can you fight it? I guess you can try. Why not? You can always try fighting. Never give up. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking and sharing this stream. Don't forget to sign up and follow me if you're watching me on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. We're going to stay in touch. I'm going to be updating you as to what madness we're going to be in the next 4 years, I guess. So I'm going to be posting updates, immigration news, how to deal with this and that. If you need to personally consult with me, 917-885-2261 is our office number. Reach out. All right. Book appointment online. And don't be scared. Be prepared. I hope to see you soon.